Hi, I'm Jimmy, aka Perceptes. If you're interested in electronic music production, you might have seen or heard about modular synthesizers. Maybe you've even seen videos about them here on YouTube. If you're bewildered by all the little boxes, knobs, buttons, and cables, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to explain what modular synthesis is, focusing on just the basics that you need to know to understand it, and I'll keep it to just 5 minutes. I won't suggest that you should get into modular, that's for you to decide. But if, at the end of this video, you find yourself interested and want to learn more, there are plenty of videos on my channel diving deeper into the topic, as well as videos of live modular synthesis performances where I use all this stuff to make real music. Okay, enough preamble, let's start the clock. Most people probably think of a synthesizer as something that looks like this, a piano keyboard with a bunch of knobs and sliders above it. What you might not realize is that the piano keyboard isn't actually part of the synthesizer, it's just a common way to play notes on one. The synthesizer itself is the stuff inside, a series of electronic components, and sometimes a small computer, that connect to each other and together produce sound. When you buy a traditional synthesizer, with or without a keyboard, generally the internal components are wired together in a fixed flow of electric signal. Usually, you have the ability to shape the sound with onboard controls, but those controls are also fixed, decided for you by the designers of the instrument. With modular synthesis, each component of the signal flow is a dedicated piece of hardware called a module. A module generally performs one specific function and can't do much on its own. But as a building block of a complete system, putting together a modular synthesizer allows you to create your own custom electronic instrument with exactly the pieces you want, in the order you want, for the purpose you want. Instead of being wired together with fixed connections under an opaque panel, modules communicate with each other by sending electricity over patch cables. In the Eurorack modular synth format, which is what I use, these are standard 3.5mm audio cables, similar to what you use to plug in a set of wired headphones, although patch cables only carry a single mono signal. By using patch cables to form connections between modules, you can use the same set of modules to create a variety of different sounds, determined by how the modules are connected and in what order. Another key aspect of a modular synth is that different kinds of signals all travel over the same patch cables. A cable can carry either audio or a control signal. While audio is something you can actually hear when sent to a speaker, control signals are used for other kinds of communication between modules. The two main kinds of control are CV, which stands for control voltage, and a group of binary signals consisting of gates, triggers, and clocks. CV signals have continuous values expressed through electrical voltage. They're used for smooth changes, like fading the volume of a sound in or out. CV is also used to control the pitch of notes played with a modular synth, with each additional volt increasing the pitch by 1 octave. Gates, triggers, and clocks are all binary in that they represent a value that is either on or off, represented with either a high or a low voltage. Gates are used to represent events with a duration, such as holding a key down on a piano keyboard. Triggers are similar, but have no set duration. They simply mark the start of an event in time. Clocks are gate or trigger signals that happen at a regular rate and are used to synchronize musical tempo between modules. Again, audio signals, as well as all of these different control signals, travel over the same patch cables as electricity of varying voltages. This uniformity leads to another key difference between modular and more traditional synthesizers. You can easily plug an audio signal into a module expecting a control voltage to get wild changes with often surprising results. There are many thousands of modules available for musicians to build their own synthesizers. This can be overwhelming. How do you know what to get when building a system? It's not quite as hard as it seems, because there are really only a handful of primary module functions in just 4 broad categories. Ones that produce audio, such as oscillators, ones that process and modify audio, such as filters and effects, ones that produce control signals, such as sequencers, and ones that process and modify control signals, such as attenuators and inverters. Some modules have multiple functions and fall into more than one of these categories, but that's the basic idea. Which modules a musician chooses is dependent on many factors, and is beyond the scope of this video, but very briefly, the primary considerations are goals and cost. A modular setup can work as a standard monophonic synthesizer, a tool for experimenting with sound design, an effects processor for other audio sources, or a complete system with multiple melodic voices, drums, effects, and mixing utilities. Modular is not a cheap endeavor, so starting small and setting limits is usually a good idea. Okay, end of explanation. But stick around if you want to see a short example. This is a small modular system that puts it all together. The module on the left is keeping tempo and sending trigger signals to a couple of drum modules to trigger their sounds. As I play keys on this keyboard, a pitch signal is sent to the oscillator, the module in the middle with the big black knob, to tell it which note to play. Gates are sent to the module with the 4 rows of white knobs, and that generates a control signal called an envelope, which is then used by the amplifier module to its right to fade the volume of each note in and out. The 2 drum voices and the melodic voice are mixed together with the module on the far right, and a control signal from the module on the far left is used to automate the panning of the melodic voice left and right in the stereo field. I hope that this quick overview helped you to understand the fundamentals of modular synthesis. For many musicians, it's easier and more enjoyable to use a more traditional synthesizer, especially virtual ones implemented in software. But for people who enjoy the feeling of something physical in their hands, the promise of a custom instrument uniquely suited to their preferences and goals, and the intellectual and creative challenge of creating music starting with the smallest building blocks, modular synthesis can be a limitless joy. Personally, I love modular synthesis, and it's a primary focus of my videos here on YouTube. I hope you'll check out a few others if you find the subject interesting. A good place to start is my tutorial on learning modular synthesis basics with the free software VCV Rack, which will be linked on screen. If you found this video valuable, I'd very much appreciate your support on Patreon. You can join for free, or chip in a few dollars a month for step-by-step patch notes for my educational videos, high-quality audio downloads of every musical performance posted to the channel, full access to the community Discord server, and more. Check the video description for details. Thanks, and see you next time.